Tonya Foster, and Sister Sonia Sanchez is on her way. And Tonya? All right. Without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, those of you who are standing, those of you who are not settled, those of you engaged in your great conversations, please pay attention and welcome our panel. And the moderator will be Sister Tonya Foster. She's right here. Thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that you are settled and dry. We have an amazing panel this afternoon, and I'm really honored to be here to sort of moderate, but to open up the space for these brilliant people, brilliant minds to talk to us about the work that they've done and the work that they continue to do. This is Maintaining Cultural Legacies, the Black Arts, and Umbra Movements. Our cultural memory is part of our collective domain. Literary texts are repositories of cultural memory. Our cultural works transmit and give shape to our memories and experiences and reveal various ways the present has been shaped by the past. They also propose possible shapes for future understanding and living. Certainly, the ideas and themes and subjects represented in the literary and cultural works created by the authors gathered here have been discussed, debated, and celebrated by readers worldwide. Their work has become part of what some have termed the Black literary, and I'll put an S on that, canons. And I use the plural as a way to designate the myriad Black lineages that we turn to in order to both understand and invent where and who we are. Plural as a way to point to the rigorously improvisatory nature of Black cultural and political production and creation. The writing and deep cultural work of these authors make up a part of the intellectual arsenal read by the general public and more specifically by students of color. The writers on this roundtable are cultural workers and activists who have been since the 60s and 70s making it happen. And by it, I mean poetry, fiction, plays, librettos, political manifestos, cultural and political criticism and theory. They've been establishing writing workshops and cultural spaces, establishing curricula for and teaching Black studies across America. Engaged by and committed to both the literary and what Lorenzo Thomas has called non-literary Black life, these writers reconfigure the American literary as it's read both at home and abroad. So I'm pausing a moment. I'm hoping the other two panelists will appear. But we have here the 2014 Poet Laureate of the Lower East Side, Steve Cannon. Yeah. New Orleans-born hoodoo doctor who's made New York his home since the 1960s. Is that right? He lives on New York's Lower East Side, where he's known as a heckler. the author of Groove Bang and Jive Around, and plays and essays and a couple of unpublished novels. He is also a producer and publisher. He is the director of the art and cultural organization, A Gathering of Tribes, with a magazine and a gallery of the same name. A Gathering of Tribes is the iconic East Village gallery and performance space. Cannon has been a mentor and magnet to young poets and seasoned bards alike. His residence as Salon has provided a nurturing forum for art exhibitions, poetry readings, musical events, and other activities which showcase the East Village's cultural history. He's a retired professor from Medgar Evers College, and Professor Cannon is also one of the founding members of Umbra Workshop, an influential collection of poets, writers, artists, and musicians. In his absence, I will introduce him nonetheless, David Henderson. The poet and writer David Henderson was a founding member of Umbra as well. His first book is Felix of the Silent Forest, and it was published in '67 under the Poets Press imprint with an introduction by Amiri Baraka, then Leroy Jones. He has also published The Mayor of Harlem and Neo California, as well as the critically acclaimed biography of Jimi Hendrix, Excuse Me While I Kiss the Sky, which was sort of an expanded version, was released in 2009 with photos and more commentary by David Henderson. He's been widely published in anthologies and magazines, including the Deaf Poetry Reader, the Paris Review, and Essence. He has read from his poetry for the permanent archives of the Library of Congress. Born in Harlem and raised in Harlem and the Bronx, he now lives downtown. He will be here shortly. Mr. Ishmael Reed, professor. I should call all of these writers professor. To, one, acknowledge the incredible kind of work that they've done, not just as writers, but as writers who are trying to shape how we understand who and what we are and how what kind of knowledge we receive. But Professor Ishmael Reed is the winner of the big thing, MacArthur Fellowship Genius Award, the renowned LA Times Robert Kirsch Lifetime Achievement Award, and the Lila Wallace Reader's Digest Award. He's been nominated for a Pulitzer, finalist for National Book Awards, and is professor emeritus at the University of California at Berkeley, and founder of the Before Columbus Foundation, which promotes multicultural American writing. He also founded PEN Oakland, which issues the Josephine Miles Literary Awards. He is the author of over 20 volumes, including the acclaimed Mumbo Jumbo, as well as essays, plays, and poetry. He's also a publisher and producer. I could go on. We also have, in absence, Professor Sonia Sanchez. And what's amazing up here is I have pages of bios on these writers, and I realized I should keep it short so that you can hear from them. But Professor Sanchez is known for her innovative melding of musical forms, like the blues and national and traditional poetic formats like the haiku and tanka. She was awarded a PEN Writing Award, awarded a National Education Association Award. She also won the National Academy and Arts Award and the National Endowment for the Arts Fellowship. She's one of the first to teach Black women writers, establish a Black woman writers curriculum at San Francisco State. She's a brilliant and powerful person, and I hope she finds her way to us. And certainly,